4th of May 2020, Monday. The US cash market is open. Piotr here, this is Light Forex Global YouTube channel. But because, we gap down when it comes to the stocks and nothing really going on, some more fireworks when it comes to the stocks are expected tomorrow with the information that the Fed is ready to start to buy some ETFs with Fed. We'll see if we are going to get the bounce. The main question when it comes to the indices is the thing. Fed is gonna to pump, but Buffett said nothing interesting around. So that's quite interesting thing we are going to monitor. But because of lack of action on the indices and because we have end of the month, I think that it's good idea to try to discuss metals from the higher time frame perspective, right? So when it comes to the metals, let's start with the gold and then silver, and then depends how much time is left. So without the further delay, let's start right away right here with gold. If you monitor my trades, you know that I'm still sitting short on the gold based on the combination we've seen here, right? Based on the combination, especially when it comes to September and October 2012, right? So 8 years ago, 7.5, and this, and the move to the downside over here, right? So the thing is that this supply, all right, possible supply is tested first time, right? Because if you remember, we were discussing that possibility of the range break to the downside. So what we have right here right now is mid-range test, right? That's probably pretty clear, right? Now, based on that, that's one of the reasons I'm still sitting short medium term. Now, I might reconsider my view in case of the market getting and closing the month, the current May month, above 1740, right? On the other hand, I see the possibility of the swing high creation, right? Now, if we are going at that, we had a rally, we had a base which been tested already, as you can see, and we had another rally, right? So it was like rally, base, rally, test, attempt to continue, right? So we know where is the huge amount of the stops, 1470, 1460, okay? From the monthly chart perspective. So breaking through that level, 1250 as discussed before, in my opinion. On the other hand, taking into the consideration this long-term chart, I do understand some trying to make the measure of the U-turn, right? So if this is 1100 and let's make it 1785, 1800, just to have a pure calculation, 700 points, right? So break of 1780 or 1800, right? Plus 700. So the next target, that's why some saying is 2500 when it comes to the gold, all right? So I do understand that, once we are going to get the close above on the gold, we might see this type of the rally. As of now, we didn't close above. There was a chance. I think that there is a big bull failure when I'm watching this upper shadow from the previous month. So that's how the situation looks like from the monthly. Let's switch lower. Let's switch to the daily, and we have a huge possible supply somewhere around 1690, 1680, and we've been trying twice to get the close below, right? And look, bounce, lower high. The good thing is, from the bull's perspective, that there is a bounce, lower high. The good thing still is we didn't manage to make the lower low. So it's like, for me, you know, 50-50. Of course, in that case, that could be some kind, bulls may try to push some bullish flag and try to move a little bit higher from here, but no, I don't see the thing that way. I would rather say that based on the daily chart, based on the Thursday price action, I think we might try again tomorrow, but this 1720, maybe a little bit higher, that's the top for now, at least for me. Of course, if I'm gonna be proved wrong with the daily close above 37, that's gonna be time to run away. I'm gonna be forced to close eventually, right? So that's how I see the things on the gold. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't be in a rush to try to buy at current levels. Now let's switch and let's have a look what we have on the silver monthly chart. You know what? To be honest with you. I still think that we might see some lower levels, right? The thing is how we are going to behave around the previous month high. It's at the same time half of that current range, right? So if you remember, we were discussing the possible short opportunity, okay, around levels close to 16 or above 16, taking into the consideration that on the weekly chart, right, we have this range, so we might see supply and half of that, right? So somewhere in between 1640 and higher towards 17, that could be selling opportunity. Right here, right now, what we have, in my opinion, is this range, half of that, when we are going to take into the consideration the upper shadows. So that's where already we've seen selling pressure, right? When I'm going to change my view when it comes to the silver, well, it's gonna take time based on the weekly chart, because what I would like to see, some kind of the rally with the break of 2021, right? Then some kind of the pullback, taking into the consideration this one as a big range, and retest of the 1750 could be the buying in the mid broken consolidation, or in other words, accumulation, right? That could be the case. So as of now, I do prefer short side on the gold, but I see, as we discussed previously, I see possibility when it comes to the silver. We are going to retest levels close to, based on the weekly, blue color, navy is good as well. Okay, close to $10, maybe a little bit below, and that's what we discussed. That's what we discussed previously, right? So what we have moved to the downside. We have consolidation, attempt to break lower, retest of the half, and that's what we should see when it comes to the silver. All right, over to the daily chart. There is a chance, but I think been used already here. There is a chance so of the possible over under, but been traded already, in my opinion, right? So why do I think like that? Because we got back above, we made retest, continuation. Now we are testing 50% of this big range, all right? So I do expect continuation to the downside and stop count below 1150. So I do expect this type of the dip. Quickly, Palladium, very similar situation. If you are a bull, from that perspective, you are watching levels close to 1,700, and for the possible over-under with nice possible demand based on this, you know, this type of this possibility of the squeeze, right? So bears around, bulls around 1,700, all right? What about the bears? When it comes to this daily chart, I think that what we've seen 2 weeks ago, right? Some kind of the consolidation, then failure 2 weeks ago. 2 days ago. It's a daily chart. So the failure on Thursday. So probably any attempt to retest 2,000. Move a little bit lower towards 1,700, 1,650, right? So the bears are looking for 2,000, 2,050 as a selling opportunity. But if, you know, if I would have to choose, so here I would rather skip the shorts, right? I would rather skip the shorts, and for now, I would rather watch this possible 1,690 as a buying opportunity. And finally, platinum, also based on the daily chart, that's quite easy. No change in view to what we previously discussed. Two possible supplies levels, right? One already been tested, all right? I see another one. So the bears are active around 800, and there is a possibility around 870. And from that perspective, right, retest of the 600, maybe stop count, right? Trying to check the higher time frame perspective. As long as we are inside this channel, that could be the case. Lately, if you remember, we're discussing the possibility of some kind over under, but the case is with the move back higher, it didn't materialize yet, right? So you can get back to the archive section, and you can watch the previous video. So overall, I'm staying short gold. I'm looking to sell rallies on the silver towards 1650 plus. Buying opportunity 10 and below 10 from the higher time frame. That's what we are talking, medium higher time frame. I would say that Palladium previously, right, 1690 might be the buying opportunity, and here platinum, as long as below 850, selling opportunity might come in. That was the beginning of the month metals update. It was my pleasure to be with you. Take care, don't be trapped, and see you around, guys. Take care and goodbye.